Hi everyone, Stacy from Dies to Die For. Welcome to another Tuesday night, which has turned into a Wednesday night, actually, card making video. Tonight I'm going to show you how I made the anniversary card for my husband using our new roses and vases die. So let's get started. It's been a little while since I made this card. Our anniversary was on June 28th and I intended on doing this card right away, but I just have not been able to do a video. Sorry about that, but I'm still recovering a little from the mini stroke that I had 3 months ago now. I still have some times when things are difficult to do, so I have not made a video in about, I think, a week and a half. Sorry about that. I'm gonna try to be back and stay on top of it, but all right. Anyway, tonight we're going to use our roses. I'm going to show you how I layered them. There's a few different ways that I've layered the roses, actually. They're a lot of fun to play with. This, I just cut the rose out, 3 roses, and I cut it into pieces and put foam dots behind it, if you can see that, on each layer. And then I use my flowering tools to curl the leaves. I'm going to show you that in a minute. This one, I just took 2 roses and I cut one of them all apart and layered it again with my foam dots with only 1 layer of foam dots. And then the leaves on this I also layered. I like both of those, but my favorite look for it is right here. And I'm going to show you how I did those. So first we are going to take our roses that I have cut out for this. And I will show you how I ink these really quick. And whenever I ink something, most of the time I use 2 different colors because I think it gives a nice contrast to whatever I'm inking. So first for these, I'm going to start with my peeled paint, which is a color I really like. I use this a lot. And then I have 2 stems. This one I've already cut off the stem, but I have 2 flowers in each. And when I cut these out to ink them and layer them, I cut them on my die 2 layers thick. So the second back layer won't have as much detail as the front layer. The back layer is the one that I use to layer my flower on top. So you really can't tell it doesn't have as much detail. You're just using it basically for the leaves. Okay, let me get these done. All right, then I'm going to take my Simon Hurley Later Gator, and yes, I'm using the same brush. I know some people say, oh, don't use the same brush with your distressed inks or your distressed oxides. I'm not using distressed oxides. Obviously, I do use different brushes for those, but my distressed inks and my regular inks, I just use the same brush. I really can't see a difference. I don't know. But you do what feels comfortable for you. If you want to have separate brushes, have separate brushes. And when I use a couple colors of ink trying to get the variations, I don't even clean my brush off in between inks because I want the ink colors to blend together on my brush when I'm doing that. Just telling you why I do what I do. You know, some of you are out there saying, oh my goodness, I can't believe she just used the same brush. Okay, now I'm going to use the Game Over ink and what's my other ink color? The Bee Sting ink to do my roses. And because I'm layering these, you can see on these, you can see the red behind them in certain spots. So on my stems, I'm still going to ink just the very top part of my stems so that any of that you see through there is not going to look white. It's going to look red. Oh, I forgot to ink my main flowers. And then the same red ink I also used to ink my I love you word that we're going to use on it. And then I'm going to also attempt to make a different card tonight with the roses, with all the same ink colors, only using the tiny roses. We'll see how much time that might have to turn into a video for later in the week. And yes, I'm going back and forth on my roses. I don't know. I feel like it just makes my color a little more even when I do that. Okay. And those I went down a little too far. I usually don't go down that far, if you can see on these. But I was talking, not paying attention. Okay. Now we're going to play with our fun flower tools, which I keep telling you guys I will show you how I use. And I don't think I've really done a good video on how I use them yet. Alright, this is just fun craft foam. I take a sheet of that and I cut it in half because this smaller workspace for me is easier to work in. And sometimes I only use it 1 layer thick, sometimes I do 2. The thicker it is, the deeper of an impression you'll get on whatever it is you're using your, let me grab my flower tools, your lovely flower tools for. And these, don't ask me where I got these, I've had these forever. I just decided to pull them out probably a month and a half ago when one of my design team members was using something similar and started using them, and I love them now. I use them on everything. We do have these ordered to carry, so we will be carrying these on our website soon. Because I'm having so much fun with them, I just want you guys to have fun. Now, I don't really like the color of that, so let me add maybe a little bit more. Why is my color not coming out right? I have an idea why it's not. I have a feeling that that child of mine, Gracie, that's not supposed to be touching the ink pads, was using my ink pads with the blue. Oh, I gotta show you before I forget. Gracie made this card the other day with the roses, and she wanted me to show everyone. She used some of our little jewels in the vases. She did a pretty good job. But that's why I have the feeling that she mixed some of my red and blue ink. Again, I think she needs some of her own ink pads for Christmas. What do you guys think? She'll quit touching mine. Okay, let me get my scissors. And just cut the head of that rose off really quick. Throw my stem away. Now, for the way I did these, I really, let's see, I cut in here. Yeah, that's really looking way too blue to me. Good thing we're not using this rose, huh? That child of mine. I need a locking craft room. That's what I need. Actually, I do have a locking craft room that the kids can't get in. I have a whole warehouse, but I prefer to craft at home, so. Okay, that I cut out. Then, I don't think on this one there was anything I snipped. I'm trying to remember. I made this a while ago. Now this piece up here, I do snip right in between there because I want this to be able to lay back further than the rest of the pieces. And then I don't think I snip anything else. All right, now I'm going to take my flower tools and show you how I do this. First, I'm going to take my stems, and then there's all different sizes in these tools. The bigger size, bigger that you use, the less your item is going to curve, or let's see. Try to show you. It's hard with all these little. But you see how much more that wants to curve in when you're using a smaller tool. So for these backs, I don't want them curved very much. I just want it to curve under a little bit, just slightly. Oh, then the leaves I also want to curve. And I still have some of my little pieces in there from cutting them. When I'm using these tools, those pieces come out anyway, so I don't usually waste time picking them out. Okay, there's the two stems. Hope it's making sense so far. Yeah. What the heck did she do to that ink pad? It actually looks like she got some metallic on it. Ooh, that child, I'm telling you. Okay, now these I want to curve the fronts in, and I do want to use a little bit smaller because I want it to curve in more. Let me set all these down. There's no reason to hold those, right? And I'm really, on some of those little lips, I'm really pushing in because I want to be able to pull those up. Does that make sense? So it looks like the petals on the leaf. Now this I don't want to curve up. I want this one to curve back a little. So I'm going to flip it over. Okay, that curves back a little. Now we're going to do this one. This is hypnotizing. I could sit here and do these all day long. I have, can you see how many roses I have on this side to complete our card? That I already have pre-done. You guys aren't going to have to sit here and watch me do all these roses, I promise. Although I don't know, is it as hypnotizing watching me do it as it is doing it? Alright, now, if you don't like how curved up they are, I took my nails and I just curved a few pieces up a little bit more and kind of bent them. Then where's my foam dots? Where did they go? I've already cut some of my foam dots in half. And I gotta look at it because I can't remember exactly where I placed them. Okay, I put them over here. I want to keep my foam dots towards the top because the bottom part, I wanted it to lay down flat. I wanted it to look like it's a rose coming up off of the stem. So keep your foam dots up kind of high, but don't put them on this flap right here, because that flap I also want to lay down on my stem. So I'm just gonna put some glue on the very bottom and then around that edge part. Okay. Then what I did is just laid the bottom down and lined this side up and press those all down. Hold those for a second. And once you think they're down good enough, then if you feel like you need to fluff some more of these pieces up or curve them over just a little bit more, you can do that then. But see, gives it some dimension. There's one done. Then this one, I don't know why I'm putting glue on the bottom first, because I don't even have my pop dots on it. Alright. And this one too, that top layer that you want to look like it's back a little bit, you could glue that one directly down to the base if you wanted to. I did not do that, but you could. See, if you glue that down, then we have our little centerpiece there. You could put that and it would make it look like it's popping up even more. Actually, I'm going to try it. Let's try it. I didn't put a pop dot on there. We can try it, right? Okay, then this piece, where did I put my half pop dots? Right there. I only put a pop dot on the very top, then glue on the bottom again. Again, so you're getting that layering effect throughout the whole flower. Use this to push it down. Then you can take one of your flower tools and just pop those pieces up however you want them. That's how I made the roses. I know, long demonstration. Let me show you the vase actually really quick before we put the flowering tools away. What I did with the vase is take my blue ink and then I'm going to put it on the inside to make it look like water. I know I did this. What card did I do this in? The one with the carnations and the roses. So I'm sure you get the idea if you watch that. Okay, I think that's dark enough and it goes up far enough for me. Then I'm going to take one of my tools, and with the vase, I think the bigger the better, because it does, a piece this big does tend to crease. Although I like the looks of the crease on the front. I think it makes it look kind of like a crackled vase. With your vellum, you really don't, you'll see every mark. The smaller you go, like if I were to use something like this, you would see all of the marks on there, and you don't want to see that. So we're going to try our biggest one with the vellum. And I don't know if I explained why sometimes I use one layer of the foam, sometimes two, because it gives you a deeper indent if you use two. And if you use one, it's less space to compress and indent. Okay. There. Okay, vase piece is done. Showed you how to do the flowers. Let me see what our time's at, because I might have to, oh, we're at 18 minutes. Okay, let's go through what I did on the card. I'm not going to remake this same card for you. We're just going to work on a slimline version, and then if I have time, then I'll work on an A2 version that's a little bit different. But to be able to put my roses on here, I used a dozen roses, and for the slimline, I'm trying to use some of the larger, the open roses. On the A2, I only use the closed roses. So I'm gonna, let's see, try to get 6 of these guys in here. And I want them up quite a ways, because I want them all, come on. I guess that fly wants to join in the video. Sorry if he's getting in anybody's way. Oh, now I got hair stuck on it. Okay. I'm going to stop trying to get them right on the vase and just... No, I'm not. I lied. Okay. So if I do 3 there and then like 3 in between, that's 6. Maybe do 7, 8, 9. Yes, I am counting for you. Just go with it. 10. And then some of these roses that are going to be way up on the top, you can snip them off if you can't. Okay, we need 2 more. I was actually thinking, okay. That looks kind of like a hot mess, doesn't it? I wonder if I could put a couple of roses like laying down here, like by the bottom. Oh, I kind of like that. That way we don't have to shove them all in there. And we can put our I love you word towards the bottom somewhere. All right, we have a plan. Our plan is going to involve cutting some of these stems off first, though, because that's just way too much chaos going on there. And most of these are going to be glued directly down, or the back rows anyway, directly down to the paper. So the stems are not going to reach all the way to the vase anyway. Leave a little bit of stem on some of those. The bottom row I would leave the stems on because that's what's going to go down in. Okay, so we got our 1, 2, 3. Take you guys off of there. Maybe cut that one off. Stick it in there. That one's a little too curvy. These are sliding down, but you can move them around. Okay, how about if I do something like that? Let's see. I think so. All right, I'm going to start gluing a few of these down so that they're definitely stuck in place, and every time I move something, they don't all move down with it. So far, so good. Actually, it's not true. I think it needs another one of these closed roses up on the top. Like right there, maybe. So then when you get down to the bottom, you only have one laying there, but that's perfectly fine with me. This is an experiment. I really don't think I had an idea of how this slimline card was gonna go, and if I did, I made the A2 so long ago that I don't remember what my idea was. Okay, now this is the first one that has a full stem that we're using. So I'm gonna put that right there. Then I didn't glue the stem part down yet because we're going to want to put this over the vase. Was that right? Was it? No, I had this one. Okay. I think that one needs to go right there. See these bottom few? It's easier to place them if you have everything else glued down where it's not going to move around on you. Glue this guy. And on my original card, I put some pop dots behind the front flowers. You don't have to. I'm not doing it on this one. Okay. So once this goes in here, I'm going to snip that off because you don't want this hanging out the side. You actually want it right inside of there. So if you just snip it off and move it on top there a little, it looks like the stem is continuing, but it's not off the side of your vase. Does that make sense? It did to me when I said it. And then the same with some of these, because the leaves are so wide, I wouldn't be able to get it down in there far enough. So I'm going to just do that and then place the stems up here when I'm done. And we don't want that behind there. We want it on top, don't we? Because we still, if I was using just this white piece, I would put it behind, but we still want to put our vellum piece on top and make it look like they're stems. So actually, I'm just going to cut all these stems off and then piece them in a minute. Okay. Okay, this will give us our 11. So let's put this one right here, and then that one right there. Let's go out a little bit further with them, you think? Yeah. So before I do anything else, I'm going to put this vase down, and because it's curved and you don't want to flatten it back out, you obviously don't want to glue it down, the center down. So I just put some pop dots behind it. Make it look raised up a little bit more. And I always try to curve them just enough so that the pop dots, like, if you can see down here, the pop dots makes the edges of the vase lay flush, not so much on the top, but the bottom I did a good job. The top we'll work on. Okay, let's put that right about there. I got to cut this off a little more because I put a pop dot right in the way. I can't get that down in there. Okay, I think I fibbed. I think I might put pop dots on just these front 3 roses. Yep. We're definitely going to. And I think I forgot to tell you how I built my card bases. I used, for this one, I used the, just cut a 4 by 8.5 card base. And then I used the Gina Marie stitched slimline rectangles. And this piece of paper, this is, I decided I'm going to start telling you what papers I used. So this is the Fab Scraps Tea Lovers, and this is available on our website. I just used this side of it. And then I cut it out with the stitch rectangles and I inked around the edges. For my A2, I used our loose set of stitched rectangles in the Dies to Die For line, and I cut the bigger layer of the white out with the biggest size, and then I cut this layer out with the second size. Makes sense? Okay. Now that you have those in there, now you can go back and start putting some of your leaves in, so that when you put your vase down, it will look like there's leaves, or there's stems down in the water. Even though we all know there's not going to be a dozen stems, it'll still give you the feeling or the idea. Then also some stems, if you have some left. See, we have some of these empty spots up here. You can take them and tuck them down in. That's a little too long. No, I need to put more glue on it because I only glued my stem, the bottom part of my stem. Anyway, you can tuck some of those pieces in there to give it a little bit more life up above. And I'm not sure if I should do it on this card or not, because this is something that's really personal. But my husband, if any of you know my husband, he loves hunting. He talks about hunting all day long, all the time. But he has to hear about my crafting. So anyway, this was our anniversary card. I took our bow and arrow die, and I cut a little bow out in 3 colors, and then I inked them and layered them. And then I cut out, because it was our 7th wedding anniversary, I cut out 7 of the arrows and I stuck them in my roses. But I don't know if I want to do that on this slimline or not, because that's something that was kind of personal to us. And I'm not liking that these leaves are not looking random enough for me. They're too uniform, I guess. Might have to put another leaf or 2 in later. I don't know how we're looking at time. Let me look in 1 second. Maybe put that one off to the side. I like that a little more. Maybe those are just sticking up too much. Is that what I did wrong? And then some of these stems that you cut off, you could also add those into your vase to make it appear like there are more stems. Now, I'm going to show you how. For that, I just snip part of that off. And then these 2 little edge pieces, I just tuck up under the leaves. That's an easier way than trying to stick everything inside of your vellum. Are all these glued down? And we're gonna, am I off camera again? Probably. We're gonna glue around the edges of the vellum. And I don't want to put glue in the center because vellum's one of those. I don't have my vellum adhesive out. I don't even know if my vellum adhesive is good anymore, honestly, because I just prefer to glue now or hide it under something. Okay. But this glue on the vellum doesn't seem to show too terribly bad. Then you just keep snipping until it's enough, until you're happy with how well you can tuck those leaves under that little piece. There we go. We got them. Now, I don't like the leaves hanging out the side there. There we go. Was that glued down? Did I forget to glue those down? I glued them down, right? Okay. If you have some leaf pieces or stems sticking out still, just snip them off, because you don't want those sticking out the side of your vase. It looks like I got some pieces inside of there, but okay. Where's my I love you word? I know I had it. This I put on pop dots, and I inked the edges of the pop dots, so any white that you're going to see is going to look red. It's not going to show up that horribly if you do that. And I didn't even show you all the dang dyes I used, did I? What's our time looking like now? Ooh, we're at 36 minutes. Boy, this card's taking a long time. I mean, this is our I love you word. And then I also used our bow and arrow, which I showed you. Our roses, the glass vases I didn't grab, or the torn rectangles. But I think you guys have seen those before. Okay. Now, what do you think? Should I leave it like that? Or should... No, we weren't going to leave it like that, were we? We're going to lay one of the roses right there. So for this one, I don't know that I'm going to put the bow and arrow or bow pieces in it. No, I don't think I am. I'm just going to glue that one right down there. Maybe I'll decide later to put them on, but for right now, I'm not going to do it. I guess you'll have to go to our Facebook page and check out the pictures when I post them and see whether I put the bow and arrow pieces on or not. Alright, there is our slimline, and since we're already way over, and I'm going to have to do this video in either post it in 2 parts or, what do you call that? Put it together. I can't think of the word right now, but we're going to do this A2 card because I had a different idea for the A2 card, and I don't really want to turn it into another video because I have so many cards that I need to get caught up on for you guys. Might have to post a video every day this week. All right, the A2 card. I'm probably not going to glue it down, but I'm just going to show you guys. Then, since you're already going to be on our Facebook page, Shop Scrapbook 101, to check out and see if I added the arrows to the slimline die, you can check out and see how I finished this card. But I took our branch wreath and cut them out in white, and I inked them brown. One a little bit darker than the other. I like layering the wreath. One layer is fine, but... And this wreath, I think, looks kind of like thorns on a rose, too. So I thought it would be perfect to take some of our little... You know what? We're already over time. I'm just going to glue them. Give me my mat. I mean, I'm going to do it anyway. Might as well do it while you guys are watching, right? Maybe. I know you people had nothing better to do than to watch me glue things, right? Oh, this one I did put right centered. I don't know. I was trying to put that, or I did want it right in the center. Don't know why I was going on the top. Okay. In this card, I have no idea what it's going to look like, 'cause it was just kind of an idea in my head. And I thought, those roses took me a long time to make, so I did not want to have to make another dozen for another A2 card, sorry. But I didn't. So I thought, well, I already had all of the mini roses cut out, because when I cut my roses out, where'd my roses die go? I don't take my die apart and cut just the little ones or just the big ones. I cut them all out together. I can do that because if you've ever ordered from us on our online, Amazon, eBay, any of the places that we sell, we always send you an insert and then we send you one cutout of any of our dies. So sometimes a lot of you that order on the website, if I like have extra roses that I already have done up, I'll throw that in a package. So you get a nice pretty rose. But so I can cut out all the extra pieces because they get used. You might not want to do that, but, and to be honest, if I wasn't sending them out in packages, I would probably still do the same exact thing. Okay. Then I'm just going to weave these roses in here. And I'm probably, I think, should I do like a open rose? Oh yeah, I like that. Open rose, closed rose. Might have to trim these stems down a little, but we'll see how many we can get around it. I would like to get a dozen around it, but we're already at 4. And what, we're halfway around? I want to try these on our wreath builder die too. I can't wait to try them. They're not, I think they're getting too close together down here. I like the way that that looks on the top. I don't, so we might not go for a dozen, just whatever looks right. I like this wreath of roses though. It's pretty. Probably should have been gluing them down from the beginning, but I don't know where they're gonna end up, and I still want to be able to move them around, so we need one more small one. Where's my small ones? Right there. Actually, I think where we have them placed is just about perfect, don't you? Sorry, apparently the kids have lost their patience staying downstairs and being quiet. They probably thought I would be done at about the 20-minute mark. Okay, then I have cut out our "and always" word from our always and forever. I just cut the ampersand off and just have the always part. And then I cut out the love word from our love word set, our seasonal love words. And I'm just going to put love always on there. And what else could we do? If I had one of the little vases cut out, I could take like 2 of those and put them in a vase. Or should I just leave it and put some, maybe some gemstones or something on it? Some enamels maybe? I do have some white enamels that might look okay. Okay, I'm just gonna go back and start gluing these down, because I really like the placement and I don't want them to move. Or we could just leave it just like this. Make it what appears to be a nice simple card. Even though we know the truth, we know these roses were not simple. They're fun, but I mean, I like making them, don't get me wrong. But they do take a long time. Ooh, that was not good. And I don't have any of my paper towel over here. So, guess what? Why waste the glue? Let's just put glue on the back of these. See, it's not a mistake. It's an opportunity, right? Want this over here a little more. Like, I think this is the one day that I didn't have a thing of wet wipes or paper towel or something right by me. I was cleaning my glue head out really good before I started the video. I must not have pushed it back on all the way. That has never popped off on me like that. Okay. Nice messy hands. So we'll just keep going with my fingers. Hey, Grace, would you like to go get me some paper towels or wet wipes, please? She must have known that I needed her. She came in perfect time. Actually, I'm kind of liking the card just like that. Just no. Maybe I'll add the bow and arrow to this one. See, I always say that. I always say I like it just like that, and then I wind up adding. I hear another munchkin opening the door now. Okay, I want that up on top, and I will glue that down later better once I get my cap cleaned out and right back on my glue, because I don't want to try to glue those letters without my micro tip on them. Yeah, I think I like it. What do you think, Grace?
Nice.
Do you think it needs anything? We were just discussing whether it needed some enamels or some jewels. Let's see. I have some clear jewels.
Jewels in the middle of them.
No. Yeah. Thanks for the idea. I meant around the corners, honey.
Oh.
Good idea though. I don't think this red. Do you? That would not look very good with them.
A blue?
Do you know where some of my crystal ones are?
Oh, you're clear?
Yes. Do you see any?
Oh, I think I know.
Nope, those are the bigger ones. I don't want those. I guess I have some white ones right here. These will work.
Oh.
Let's see if they'll work.
What are they called?
I know. I said I was gonna leave it alone, but
leave the card on?
Yep, I said I was done with it, that it was enough. But if I left it like that, I wouldn't be me, because I always have to fuss with it. In case none of you've noticed, usually when I get done with my video and I'm like, oh, okay, the card's done, that's good. If you go to my Facebook page, I will have added jewels to it or something to it. Put one up there.
Well, that'll spread it more out.
Like that, some on each corner, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly like that.
Okay.
That's pretty.
Just like that. All right, Gracie has spoken. This is how we're going to leave it. And let me remind you what my original card looked like and our new slimline. All right, thank you for watching. I know that took a long time, but I had to make up for all the videos I've missed lately. Have a great night, and we'll see you again in the next video, maybe tomorrow night.